Hey everybody, I'm Jason Curtis, the principal of Oconomowoc High School, and it's tough to keep up with the raccoons from OHS. However, that's why you tuned in to this podcast, Keeping Up with the Raccoons, Stories from OHS and Beyond. Welcome to our first episode.
You're listening to Keeping Up with the Raccoons, Episode 1, Unstoppable, 5 Seniors, 5 Pathways.
Our first segment of today's episode is something we're always going to start with, Rocky's Rundown. What's happening at Oconomowoc High School so that you have it on your calendars and you know how you can participate at all the different events we have going on. So I'm highlighting the week of June 2nd. We got a lot happening. June 2nd is the last week of school, and June 2nd is a normal day, but every other day is really special. Tuesday, June 3rd at 8:45 a.m., we are going to be sending the class of 2025 off in style with their senior send-off ceremony. All seniors are invited to come to campus as early as 4 a.m. for your sunrise breakfast. And then we'll have the assembly for the whole school to celebrate your class and your accomplishments. And then we're going to head out to the intermediate and elementary schools across the district, led by our band, as we inspire a future generation of raccoons to think about their time at OHS. So that's what's happening on Tuesday. Then Wednesday and Thursday, 2 toughest days of the year, exams. Got to stay focused and finish strong. Then Friday, last day of school, half day, dismissals at 11:40 for all our students. Seniors, you'll come in at your assigned times for graduation rehearsal throughout the morning. And then on Saturday, June 7th, the day that we've all been waiting for the class of 2025, as we send them out in style to the rest of their lives as we get ready for graduation day. Our commencement ceremony is on Saturday, June 7th at 10 a.m. Check the OHS blog for updates and details. But let's hear about the stories of this senior class as we talk about their graduation ceremony. I'm here with 5 incredibly amazing seniors who have just a week left in their time here at Oconomowoc High School. And we talk over and over again about how the high school experience is just 704 days long. That's essentially 2 years to help you go from a 14-year-old to an 18-year-old ready to take on the world. And we preach over and over again at Oconomowoc High School that we believe in the idea of making sure we're career ready. And how we want to continue learning in that career is up to us, whether it's the military, a 4-year or 2-year school, the workforce, apprenticeship, whatever it might be. We want to make sure you're ready for whatever is next in your calling in life. And what I've got here is 5 incredible seniors who are representing each of those 5 pathways as they think about their next steps in life. So I'm excited to introduce you to 5 members of the class of 2025. Do you guys want to go around and introduce yourself and share a little bit about what you're doing next?
Hi, my name is Chloe Maroo, and I'm going to Madison for elementary education.
Ooh.
My name is Annamarie Matteson, and I am opening my own photography business and doing videography.
My name's Sawyer Schroeder, and I'm going to be working with the family business.
My name's Kloth, and I'm going to the Marines.
I'm Marshall Wallace, and I'm going to be a plumber.
And that's the class of 2025 summed up right there. So let's talk a little bit about each of these 5 pathways and how the journey of the last 704 days helped these raccoons figure out what exactly they want to do. Right now, we're celebrating Celebrate Your Future Week, where we celebrate each of these 5 pathways and the students that are making commitments to whatever it is that they might be doing next. So let's start with Sawyer. Sawyer, you're going to be recognized as part of the workforce apprenticeship ceremony. And talk to us a little bit about your family business. What is it, and what do you plan on doing there?
So after high school, I'm going to be working with the family business, which is Woody's Tree Service, as an arborist.
And what does your family business do?
We cut down trees.
Cut down trees. That's awesome.
Trees or trim trees and keep them healthy.
How many clients do you guys have in a year?
A lot.
A lot? How many trees do you think you've cut down?
Me personally, a couple. Not too many. Not as much as my dad, but.
How old were you when you cut down your first tree?
This year.
Okay. That's awesome. Congratulations. You're going to continue in the family business. So did you ever consider doing anything else besides joining your family business and entering the workforce after high school?
I have, but I haven't put too much thought into it. I've considered being an airline pilot, but I didn't really act on it. But I've always wanted to work with the family business ever since I was a little kid. I think it's natural when you're a little kid to look up to your parents and want to do what they do, and I've just always wanted to work with my dad.
Yeah, and your dad's a great guy and an awesome role model. I can see why you'd want to do that. So you never consider anything else, just kind of looked up to your dad, wanted to get into the family business. So what classes did you take here at Oconomowoc High School that helped you discover you just wanted to continue on in that family business and in that tradition?
I took a bunch of the business classes here at Oconomowoc, and that's kind of helped me prepare for the business side of it. But I've also participated in clubs as well. I've been in FFA for 4 years, And FFA has prepared me for going into the family business by teaching me leadership skills, because the plan is I'm going to eventually take over the business. And FFA has taught me how to work with a team and work with other people, and that's an important part if you're going to run a business. So FFA has helped me prepare in that way as well.
I love how you're talking about combining all the different experiences that you had here at the high school, right? So the business classes will help you run the business, but the opportunities like FFA will help you lead your employees or lead through challenges or problem solve when things don't go well. And that's really cool to hear, because that's what it's all about. We just don't kind of funnel ourselves into one area and say, this is what I'm focused on. You got to kind of mix and mingle. So what has being the FFA president, which by the way, you've been a fantastic FFA president, a lot of growth in the program under your leadership. What has that taught you about being an arborist and continuing the family business?
So the FFA president is the official spokesperson of the chapter, so I've had to speak with people in the community, and that has helped me prepare to run the business, because I'm going to have to talk to customers eventually, and that has helped me prepare in that way as well.
Awesome. Great job. Good luck, Sawyer. Really proud of you, bud. So Anna, you're kind of on the same boat. Talk to us a little bit about what you're doing after high school.
I recently started working with this photographer. She's local. Doing videography with her, like during her shoots. I've been doing weddings recently. There's a couple of events coming up this summer that I'm attending. But I also just I'm in the process of opening my own LLC, and I'm going to be working on my own as well.
Already starting to own a business before high school graduation. That's really cool. And so your passion is photography and videography?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you love to photograph?
I would love to go into nature photography like when I'm older. I'm super passionate about traveling and like seeing all of the world as much as I can. So hopefully I can tie that into my work when I'm older and do that all together.
That's awesome. And so kind of like Sawyer, you're thinking the idea of running your own business as you think about collecting those photographs and selling them off to agents, magazines, whatever it might be? Awesome. And what classes did you take that helped you come to this discovery and this passion you have around photography?
I've taken all the photography classes that you guys have to offer here. I've also taken like multiple marketing classes with Buchel and Starkey that have just really gotten me interested in the marketing aspect of it.
Awesome. And do you see yourself taking any classes at maybe WCTC or at a college down the road?
Yeah, I took a few this year already for real estate. Actually, I also took a sales and marketing one as well. So I see it as an option. It's always good to have that. You can always go back and take them whenever you want. So to keep that door open is good.
Okay. And so I didn't know that. So my mind's blown right now. How do we switch from real estate to photography?
She's a real estate agent, and I just think that that's really good to have that like behind her belt. Mm-hmm. So I just thought that would be another option for me to have. So I'm just keeping them both.
That's awesome. So you took classes at WCTC in real estate, but discovered a passion around photography, going to use some of the business skills to help you set up and start your own business in that LLC already at the age of 18. It's incredible. I think it's important to recognize that who we are today is who we are today, and where we are down the road, we still may pull on some of those different skills and things that we learned here in high school to help shape our journey. It's awesome to think about. All right, Chloe.
Hi.
Where are you going? The shirt says it all.
Madison.
Madison. Okay. Go Badgers. That's awesome. And what are you going to major in at UW-Madison?
Elementary education.
Elementary education.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be a teacher. Do you have a favorite grade you think you might want to teach?
3rd grade, 4th grade, somewhere in there.
Okay, 3rd grade, 4th grade. They can be kind of scary. Why do you want to become a teacher?
So for me, it's always definitely been a passion for me. I've definitely grown up with a lot of role models who have been teachers or have worked within the district. It's just always been kind of what I've wanted to do.
That's awesome. And what jobs have you had that have helped you discern this calling of becoming a teacher?
Yeah, I've worked at the YMCA working with kids after school. I currently have a job that I've had for almost 2 years now working for a gym, which is weird, but they do birthday parties there, and then you get to like give kids instructions and they play the gym games, and it's really fun. Awesome. And I will soon be working at a daycare this summer. So
that's awesome. Mm-hmm. So YMCA, all local businesses, this gym that does birthday parties that, well, maybe you're not working at the gym, you're certainly thinking about what it is you want to do beyond just what it is that business actually provides. So shout out to the YMCA, great place to work if you're looking to discern a career working with other people, especially young people, mentoring, social work, whatever it might be. So that's awesome. So you mentioned you had a lot of role models here in the district, right? And sometimes you become a teacher because you're inspired by the teachers you have. Who is your favorite teacher of all time?
Miss Fleischfresher. She was my 6th grade teacher.
Okay, and what made her so special, and how do you hope to emulate that in the classroom that you have one day?
There were 2 big things that I loved about her. The first thing was I used to live in Waukesha, so then I moved to Oconomowoc my 6th grade year. And her being my teacher, she really made that transition easy for me by being so open, and I could trust her. She was just a very fun teacher that knew when to be serious, but also knew when it was okay to joke around, have fun with us. And she was just a great way to welcome me to Oconomowoc.
That's awesome. And teachers play that role, and you're going to do great playing that role in someone else's life. So you're going to Madison, but everything over social media this fall said you were going to Oshkosh. Talk to me about that switch.
Right, so I was supposed to be going to Oshkosh. I was committed and everything. I had a roommate, all my friends were going, and that was kind of the issue, right? I had all my friends going, and that was the main reason I wanted to go. I committed before Madison, admission stuff was even out. And obviously admissions came out and I got in and I was like, oh, well, maybe I should rethink that.
So you already ditched a roommate?
I did ditch a roommate. I feel really bad.
It's okay. They'll get over it. It's an awesome example of how you got to follow your own calling. And while there may be comfort in going to school with your friends, you got to start to live your life. And that's really cool. You're going to be an amazing teacher. My only complaint is I think you should teach high school, but we'll worry about that down the road. Yeah. Aaron, going into the military, the Marines?
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. And we celebrated Aaron at our military commitment ceremony where he got a chance to, in front of the whole school, walk across, make that commitment, give his family a hug. And it's a big deal to serve in our nation. So thank you for that, especially as we think about this past Memorial Day weekend. You're calling to be in the military. I understand it all started with a game of sheep's head. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
So about every Thursday night at the VFW here in Oconomowoc, they have a sheep's head night. And so every once in a while I'd tag along with my grandma and grandpa, and just seeing how they connect with each other is kind of just something I really strive for.
Awesome. That's really cool. And so talk to us about the recruitment process. When you started to realize you wanted to go into the Marines and had that calling, who did you turn to, and what were the steps they took to get you to enlist?
Well, I turned to the greatest counselor at OHS, Mrs. Verhagen. She really helped me out throughout this whole process. She made it very smooth, very understandable for me. She hooked me up with the school recruiter, and then from there it was just sitting down, talking to him, getting to know a little bit more about the military, stuff like that.
Working through there. And did you take the ASVAB test as part of that? Okay, and what is that test? We're all used to ACT and hearing about that, but what's the ASVAB?
They grade you on particular areas, so obviously you got your math, your reading, English, comprehension like that, and then they dive a little bit deeper into more career specific, you get into some mechanic aspects and then a little bit of computer tech.
Awesome. And do you mind sharing a little bit about your results? What did they say about you?
Well, they said I was pretty proficient in almost everything. So going into the Marines, I pretty much had an open book. I could pick whatever job I really wanted to. So
awesome. And the test to tell you what we already know. You're just about proficient in everything. This guy was our chant leader this year. Did being the chant leader teach you anything about thinking about the next steps of your life and adulthood? Could be a reach, but I don't know.
It definitely taught me that it's okay to get loud, for sure. I mean, just being able to go out there and scream at people, but also having it be fun was just probably one of my greatest high school experiences.
Yeah, and I would say pushing a little bit further into that, it taught you how to be responsible for people you never met. Because if something went wrong, some principal would come up to you and say, we got to fix this or that, whatever. And you took on a huge responsibility of representing our school and doing it with people you didn't necessarily know to hype up our team and bring the energy and provide everybody with a really positive experience. So you're a man for others, and that's what makes you great. So thank you for that. Awesome. And last but not least, we got Marsha over here. Marshall, you want to talk to us a little bit about what you're doing after graduation?
I'm going to go into an apprenticeship for plumbing. I got to finish out my youth apprenticeship, and then there's an apprenticeship that you can apply for and hopefully get at Dave Jones Plumbing.
Awesome. So he's a youth apprenticeship right now, already learning the skills around plumbing. And then once you graduate, you'll go into the actual apprenticeship for Dave Jones Plumbing. What made you decide you wanted to be a plumber?
Really is our building trades program. So we start off with Building Trades 1, and in that one you just kind of learn about safety and all that stuff. You learn how to do some hands-on stuff. You build a mini shed, but it's a lot of rough stuff, rough carpentry and stuff like that. And then in Building Trades 2, you're more so not as much safety stuff, but you're learning how to actually use the tools, not just learning about them. But you do get OSHA 10 certified, so you do get that. And then you go to Building Trades 3, which is OSHA 30 certified, and then you build a complete house from start to finish. And you do that, and then, but I mean, that's like helps you find out like what you want to do in your pathway, because you do everything.
Yeah. That's incredible. All in high school. As early as your freshman year, you can be learning about these tools that will set you up in the progression to be able to build a house and to find a skill set like plumbing. Or what are some of the other people in the program going into electrical or what?
We have someone going to electrical. I know we have someone going to HVAC too that works at Dave Jones with me. And I think we know we have someone in finished carpentry too, and I know someone wants to get into rough carpentry too.
That's awesome. And so you talked about how your youth apprenticeship helped you determine you want to go into an apprenticeship. What is a youth apprenticeship? Can you kind of explain that quickly to us?
For a youth apprenticeship, you work when you're in high school pretty much, and you get paid to do it instead of going to class. So I'm like 18 right now. I started when I was 17, so I worked the first half of the day and then went to school the second half of the day, but I get paid to do it, and it counts towards my work hours that I need to apply for an apprenticeship.
Awesome. And so by doing that youth apprenticeship, it gave you kind of a competitive advantage going into getting an actual apprenticeship?
Yes.
That's awesome, right? And other people thought you just weren't going to school, but you're out working, making money, getting credit, fulfilling your calling, and figuring out what you want to do in life.
Yeah.
Okay. Real question. Mr. Olson is not listening. What's the biggest mistakes you made on the building trades house?
Definitely some of the measurements.
Oh.
And we have like other stuff that you can do it with, but there's sometimes where it's like in finished carpentry, because it has to be exact and can't really be covered up. Your measurements aren't correctly like perfect to like the 1/8 or to 1/16 of an inch. Like everything's messed up, and you just got to completely restart. Because if it's too short, it's like not good at all.
No.
You can't cover it up.
No, it's not like math class where you can just get a 7 out of 10. You need to get a 10 out of 10 every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good life lessons there. That's incredibly awesome, and super proud of you as far as that goes. So these are just a few of the stories that you heard of our class of 2025, but let's get to know these graduates on a more personal level. We'll end every episode with a Rocky's lightning round where we ask just a pretty direct question, and you got to answer it on the spot, on the fly, spontaneously. So we'll go around the circle, and you'll answer them as quickly as you can. Sound good? You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, Chloe, you get to go first.
Oh, great.
All right. Here we go. You ready?
No.
Purple or gold?
Purple.
I would say gold.
Gold.
Purple.
Purple.
Okay, purple for sure. What's Rocky's middle name?
I don't know. Raccoon.
Skip.
Rococo.
Rococo.
Ricky.
Rocky the raccoon. I get you. Okay, Marshall, you're going first. Best bathroom on campus?
East.
Locker rooms.
The one by the main staircase by the field house lobby.
The bathroom's attached to the locker rooms, not the locker room.
Not the actual locker room.
I agree with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Notice we said best, not the cleanest. Favorite homecoming tradition? Sawyer, you start.
Parade.
TP Wars.
TP Wars, yeah.
Rushing the field after the Raccoons win.
Yeah, TP Wars.
TP Wars. Okay. Field house or Ruck Stadium? Chloe, go.
Ruck Stadium.
Rec Stadium.
Field house.
Ruck Stadium.
Ruck Stadium.
Okay. And last question. Friday or Saturday night?
Friday night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Friday night.
Friday night.
Friday.
See, I'm more of a Saturday guy, but who am I? It's good. Awesome. All right, that was our first episode of Keeping Up with the Raccoons. We have a lot to be proud of as a community. I'm so excited to send these graduates off on Saturday, June 7th at our commencement ceremony. Follow our social media for all the photos from Celebrate Your Future Week, our Building Trades open house that occurred this past weekend, and to celebrate these raccoons as we get rolling. So that wraps up this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode of Keeping Up with the Raccoons. Have the best day of your life, raccoons.